Hey, Matt here, and welcome to Mob Street. Tonight I am out here with my 2019 TW200, and lately I've had a few folks ask if the TW200 is a good bike for a beginner bike, something to introduce people into motorcycling. And for me personally, now this is my own personal opinion, short answer is yes, but I want to tell you why. And there's just a few reasons that really stick out to me that I think make it an excellent bike for beginners, and one that if you're getting into motorcycling, it's worth taking a look at. So the very first thing that drew me to the bike was the seat height. Now this seat on the TW is 31.1 inches, and if it sounds like it's tall, it really isn't compared to some of the other beginner bikes that have a 32 plus or a 33 plus, even a 34 plus inch seat height on there. So my KLX 230S is actually an inch taller than this on the seat height, and I think this one's actually more welcoming, more inviting. But a 31 inch seat height. Now I am 5'6" and I can flat foot on here. I have a 30 inch inseam, and the cool thing is that my wife, who's 5'4", can also flat foot the TW. Now I've also got one of my daughters that is riding the TW and one of my sons that is riding the TW, and they're both under the 5 foot mark, so they do teeter here and there, you know, on their feet as they're going about it, but they can actually start, stop if they need to. It's a really short, very welcoming bike if you're being introduced to bikes. Now the second thing that I really like about the TW is the simplicity of this bike. And when I say simplicity, I mean up here on the dash, you don't have any electronics to mess with. You have an analog speedometer. I mean, look at the handlebars. All you have is your horn, your kill switch, your headlights, and that's it. So super simple, nothing really to distract you up here on the front of the bike. And one of the great things about this bike being so simple is if you ever want to get into working on your own machine, this engine right here is about as basic as you can get anymore when it comes to mechanical everything on a motorcycle. You've got a carburetor still, which a lot of people hate, but they're actually really easy to work on, much easier to work on than an EFI bike. You can still adjust your valves up here. These are the old schools where you can adjust everything on top of the valves. I mean, just super simple, great basic introduction for working on your own bike and getting into bikes. I mean, it's great that way. Another thing that I really like about this is it is only a 5-speed and it's not very fast. So if you're getting into bikes, as far as power goes, it's not just going to take off from you. You know, it's not going to be like this powerhouse that you can't handle or something that you're not used to. It's very low geared. It's an extremely soft temperament, if you will. So you let go of the clutch. I mean, it's not like gonna jump out from you and surprise you. It's very easy, I guess is the best word to say it. Now with it being low geared, it's very forgiving too. So when you let out that clutch, if you're not, you know, exactly sure on how to feather the clutch out as you're getting started, or to ease the clutch out, this one you can almost dump the clutch and give it a little bit of throttle and it'll take off. So it's low geared enough that it's easy to start, easy to learn on, and just very welcoming. So it's, I don't know, it's very easy to get on and to use. And that's one of the reasons, if you look around at some of these motorcycle training courses, they will more than likely have a couple TWs in their fleets. So that's just something to look at also. Another cool thing about it is with it being a 200cc engine, it's not going to be a very heavy price point. So right now these are around the $5,000 mark, depending on where you live and depending on which dealership you go to get these from. So there's a bunch of them that are used that you can find for, I mean, the used prices are actually coming down a little bit, which is nice. But another great thing about these is since 2001, they haven't changed anything other than the color really on the TW. Now, pre-2001, back to 1987, they look the exact same, and a lot of the accessories will fit from 1987 all the way up to the 2024 models. So there's just a few little changes that they've made, you know, with the disc brake, the carburetor, the stator, getting rid of the kickstart, a few other little things. But all in all, from 1987 to 2024, you're not going to see much of a difference on the TW. Now, some folks might say that that's a real pain in the butt. They don't update, they don't this, they don't that. But if you're looking for parts for the TW, they're easy to find. And again, simple to work on, simple to use. And the cool thing about it is, as a beginner rider, so I've been riding motorcycles for a long time, but this was my first introduction to the dirt. And the wide stance on this, with the wide tires that are on here, so you've got a massively wide rear tire, and this front tire is actually the size of rear tires on other motorcycles. But with how wide this bike is, I actually find it quite it's stable. It is flat out stable. I mean, cruising down roads, cruising down dirt roads, cruising down trails, cruising on rocks or whatever, you've got a massive amount of traction with this, and to me it's just more of a stable feeling than some of the other bikes starting out. And again, there's not a ton of power, so if you're going up and down trails, it's not gonna like hurry and get away from you or anything like that, you know, that some of these bigger engine bikes might have. And I don't have anything against them. I'm just saying, if you're starting out, this is one of, in my personal opinion, one of the best ways to start. So I hope you found this video informative. Again, I'm 5'6" with a 30-inch inseam. I can flat foot. My wife is 5'4". I've got, you know, 2 of my kids that are riding it that are sub 5 foot still, and they can get on and ride these. We did a 75-mile trip on them just last weekend with my kids, and they did just fine. So if there's any questions or comments about the TW or the things that you can do to it or whatever, please put those in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and follow along. Oh, and if you want one of these TW hats, check for the link down there in the description as well. And we'll leave it at that. I'm Matt. This is the 2019 TW200, which was my introduction to dirt. It's got about 4,500 miles on it now. And oh, if you're wondering whether or not they're good, I have 3 of them now. 3 TWs, because they're just that much fun. So anyways, Matt with Mob Street, and thanks for watching.